Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today I'm doing another writing lesson ideas. This one I'm showing you a writing pattern. And I feel like this is one of my favorites, but they might all be one of my favorites. I don't know. This one is just really handy, very usable for any age or level of writing. And it's an easy setup. It takes a little bit more objects than some of them do. So let's get into it. This one I use 4 logs laid parallel in a row, and on the end of each one's about 4 or 5 feet away from the end, I have cones or poles. I think I didn't have enough of all of them, so I have a mixture of cones and poles. So your logs, and on either end is a cone or a pole. Now remember, you can use whatever you have on hand. It does not need to be something like that. You can use a bucket, you can even use a rock. It just needs to be a marker of some sort. This writing pattern is a normal one. It's called the Serpentine. I always tell my students serpentine comes from the word serpent, which is a snake, and this is like the movement of a snake, so it's a back and forth. So this is just basic writing skills involved in this one, being able to use leg pressure, being able to use the reins correctly along with it. It's just a nice pattern to have set up, and when you have it set up, you can also use it for weaving in and out of the poles. You can use it for going and just stepping over all the logs on the ground. There's lots of things you can incorporate into it, so it's not just like a one pattern thing. This one can be used throughout the lesson. So yeah, that's what it is. I have a student start from one end, and normally you have to go over this a couple times because it's a little confusing when they don't have the picture in their mind of what it is. So starting at one end, you go in straight from a pole and in between the first 2 logs and through the first 2 poles. Then you're going to make a turn. In the video I'm showing, she's going to make a right turn first and head back into the next set of poles and logs, and you just keep going back and forth through them. Now here's where I like to teach them to use nice consistent turning leg aids and using more direct reining. This is where you don't want big circles. You want a nice turn, but not too round of a turn. This is a sharp turn. And one thing you do have to watch for is they like to turn too soon, and they tend to turn right over top the pole or the cone. If you're using this for students, that's what I'm talking about. They tend to run over some of them. So make sure you always tell them ride by the obstacle and then turn, because horses tend to do it a little, well, at least trained horses tend to do it a little faster or a little quicker than they expect them to. So make sure they don't ride right over top the obstacles. But yeah, that is my idea for today. And I think it's fun to ride over. In the beginning, I just have the students do it at a walk, and eventually once they get more confident and can use their aids more correctly, they will do it at the trot. And if you have enough room, you can do it at a canter, but it's going to need to set up a little bigger and a little further apart. So yeah, that is the writing lesson idea for today. I hope you enjoy this pattern, because I sure do. So see you next time.